Well, we're getting restless waiting on the start of the college football season, so to pass the time, we're going to play a little game of true or false, where our Emory Hunt separates the facts from fiction when it comes to some of college football's predictions. Will Bill Belichick see a successful first season? How will we remember the start to Arch Manning's era? And can James Franklin finally find the recipe for success in Happy Valley? Our Zara the Playbook kicking it off with us here on HQ. And Emory, it all starts in State College, where the expectations are always sky high for James Franklin and Drew Aller. So fact or fiction number one, the Nittany Lions are the #1 team in the Big Ten.
Fact, and this is an emphatic fact, by the way, because you look at the trend that's happened. Michigan won, Ohio State won, and now it's James Franklin's turn because Harbaugh had the monkey on his back. So did Ryan Day. People were trying to fire Ryan Day every week of the season last year up until they won a national championship. So James Franklin has gone through that same gauntlet. And outside of that, I love how they've attacked the transfer portal at wide receiver. Trevor Payne was an outstanding receiver for Syracuse. They also brought in a couple other guys from USC and also Troy. So when you think about Kyron Hudson from USC and Devontae Ross from Troy, so you got 3 transfer wide receivers. That shows you that they understood last year what was the detriment of that offense. They had no other passing option outside of Tyler Warren. You have 2 talented tailbacks in Keytron Allen and also Nick Singleton to go along with these 3 new wide receivers that are also talented, with Drew Aller now having the ability to balance the offense out. The defense is still the defense. They just kind of reload on that side of the ball. So Penn State looks like the more balanced team in the Big Ten. They've played really well. They've gotten to the postseason. They won a game in the postseason. So I think this is a year they kick down that national title door and win the whole thing.
I sure hope so, Emory, just for James Franklin's sake, just like Ryan Day last year, so we can get it out of the way. All right, let's go from the Big Ten over to the ACC. We know it is a big year on deck for the 6-time Super Bowl champion in Bill Belichick, who is ready to tackle that new challenge at UNC. He's got 70 new players on that roster, though, Emory, so a lot to work with here. Fact or fiction? There's a big year on deck for Chapel Bill.
Aesop fable level fiction here, Haley, because they wanted to say 10 games. Like, nah, bro, nah. Let's taper our expectations. The over-under right now is 7.5. I'm going under 7.5. I do think 7 is the optimal number for UNC. And the reason why, you can win a lot of games with discipline and execution. We know those are 2 tenements of what Bill Belichick brings to the table. He did that as the New England Patriots. They weren't always the most talented football team, but they were very disciplined. They didn't beat themselves. We'll see that at the collegiate level. The problem is, this is the collegiate level, and you're dealing with 18 to 45-year-olds nowadays, but you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. So there's going to be some mistakes, some mishaps. That's going to cost you a couple games. And then the talent thing has to come into play more so at the collegiate level than it is at the professional level. So give them time to find the talent. I do love Gio Lopez, the quarterback transfer they got in from South Alabama. I do feel like the offensive line will be good. They'll be able to move the football, but 7 wins should be the goal. And to me, that's a win.
Did you see how long the line at media days was for all of the cameras and the local reporters waiting to talk to Bill? Like, we're living in a fever dream right now. Bill Belichick going to start his season at UNC against TCU on September 1st. It's going to be fun to watch. Let's go over to the SEC next. Emory, legendary Texas coach Mack Brown has had some strong praise, for the quarterback Arch Manning. He recently talked about his potential, drawing comparisons to the great Michael Vick when he was in that spot a few years ago. So fact or fiction, Emory, Arch will take Texas back to the top of the SEC.
Yes, and I'm going to lay it out why, Haley, because we've seen people overrate the 95 passes he threw against UL, Mississippi, and UT Pan American. Like, let's calm that down. But he did do a lot of things rather well that gives you the confidence that he could hit the ground running. One, and this is the part no one has talked about, this is his 3rd year in this offense. So he shall have a mastery of this offensive system with Steve Sarkisian, who does a great job of making it quarterback friendly and putting the quarterback in position to have success. Second, he's a great athlete, and that is combining with the tremendous depth they have in the backfield. Getting C.J. Baxter back healthy is going to be a big plus for this offense. And Arch has gotten thicker in terms of his weight, his size, so he can handle the down and down rigors that's going to happen in college football. And the defense of Texas, it might be better than last year's defense, which was pretty solid. I think this year's defense will be slightly better. And all of that combined, Arch will be able to grow, progress, blossom into what people believe he is right now. He'll get to that point. And he has the most I would say they are the most known commodity, in my opinion, in the SEC. Although I do like Gunnar Stockton, I do feel like he has some gamership with him. LSU's roster looks really good. Garrett Nussmeier is a guy that's going to be helping spearhead that offense. But I trust Texas more because they've done it in the Big 12. They've done it in their first year in the SEC, and they're going to do it again this season.
Hey, let me ask you this real quick before we move on. If Arch Manning doesn't pan out the way that we are all painting him to be, what happens? What's the conversation then?
Oh, he's going to pan out. The reason why, they won't let him not pan out. They will say it's because he doesn't have help and weapons. I've seen this before since Ben. So once he stepped foot on campus and his last name was Manning, he is going to pan out because the media, and when I say media, I'm talking about those that just want him to succeed so bad. There's never going to be a situation. He can go out there and throw 3 touchdowns and 48 picks. They need help at Texas. They need to build around Arch Manning. It's not going to be because of him. So he will always pan out.
All right. Well, we won't have to wait very long to see what he's made of because Texas opens against Ohio State to start the season. That is an exciting game for sure. You mentioned LSU, so that's where we go next, Emory, because we're going to stay in the SEC. A lot of eyes going to be on Brian Kelly, who has failed to get LSU really back to its prime that we saw under Joe Burrow and some of the talent there. There's been whispers of him being on the hot seat, Emory. Fact or fiction? It's getting hot in the bayou for Brian Kelly.
I say fiction, man. I'm so tired of these elitist college football fans with these champagne problems. Like, you can't win the national championship every year. Even before we had this new playoff system, you didn't see the same team win the national championship every year. You like to think that. LSU is a good program. Brian Kelly has those guys going in the right direction. Hell, he produced a Heisman Trophy winner in recent time. This is not something we're talking about from '88 like Notre Dame. This dude, Jaden Daniels, won a Heisman 2 years ago. So at the end of the day, they're building in the right direction. This is his best team he's had in Baton Rouge. And yes, that comes with expectation. I do expect these guys to win double-digit games. I do expect them to get to the postseason, but we can't want to fire everybody if they don't win a national championship. We have to remember, this is college football. It's a lot of factors in play, but LSU, whether they win the title or not, Brian Kelly will stay in Baton Rouge. As long as he doesn't take anybody off, he'll be fine out there in Bayou Country.
All right, Emory, we'll have to wait and see. I certainly hope for Brian Kelly's sake he is safe, but we'll see. LSU's got a fun game kicking off the season as well. But Emory, we are so excited that college football is almost back. The Cover 3 crew going to get you set for all of the action, all the storylines, certainly some college football buzz going on. You can scan that QR code on your screen to get locked in.